ATX Chassis Prep Part 2. Before we mount the system board into the chassis, we must install the standoffs. Open the bag of screws that came with the chassis and you'll find the standoffs in it. What's a standoff? Well, basically it's a hex nut of particular height, designed to make the system board stand off the chassis frame. These also help align the system board I/O shield and the PCI ports to the rear of the chassis. Please make sure we are using some kind of SD prevention. Our ATX chassis has mounting standoff locations in the backside frame. These locations correspond to the system board screw holes from various vendors. To figure out which ones we will use, place the system board into the chassis. Note where the screw hole on the board lines up with a hole in the chassis. There are 6 mounting holes on our system board. Our system board needs 6 standoffs and screws. We will also need a 5mm nut driver to finish installing the standoffs. Start with one standoff location. Either use the nut driver or use your fingers to screw the first standoff into its location. Do not tighten down all the way. If you have to make adjustments to the location, it is easier to remove. Be sure the standoff is not cross-threaded or crooked in the hole. Repeat this for each of the standoff locations. After each standoff is in position, go back over each one and tighten them down. You may notice the screw holes on the system board are in line with each other. This makes it easier to find the next location to put the standoff. Now we can install our I/O shield into the rear chassis. Orient the I/O shield to match the system board rear ports when installed. Align the I/O shield into the chassis cutout and press it in firmly. Start with the bottom or top edge in one corner and work your way around. You may have to play with this a while to get the I/O shield to snap into place. The I/O shield edges should fit flush with the rear chassis cutout. The chassis is now ready to mount the system board.